I'm 78 years old, and I didn't realize losing my badge meant losing my identity until it was already gone. I wish I could tell you I saw it coming. I didn't. I thought I was prepared. I thought I knew who I was. Turns out I only knew who I was when someone needed me, when a radio crackled, when a door had to be kicked in, when my name was followed by a title. When that stopped, there wasn't much left underneath. I spent most of my adult life in uniform. I was young when I first put it on. Barely knew myself then either. But the badge filled in the blanks. It told me who I was supposed to be: strong, calm, in control. The man who shows up when things fall apart. People looked at me differently when I wore it. I walked straighter, spoke less, listened more. It gave me a place in the world. At first, it felt like purpose. Later, it became habit. Somewhere along the line, it became everything. I worked nights for years. Holidays too. Missed birthdays. Missed dinners. I told myself I was doing it for my family, for the house, for stability, for a future where I'd finally slow down and be present. That future always stayed just ahead of me. One more shift, one more promotion, one more year until retirement. Let me tell you something nobody warned me about. When you spend decades being needed in emergencies, normal life starts to feel quiet in a way that scares you. Silence becomes uncomfortable. You start filling it with work. I was good at the job. That mattered to me more than I ever admitted. Other officers trusted me. Young guys came to me for advice. I liked that. I liked being the steady one, the one who had seen things and didn't flinch anymore. I told myself that meant I was strong. Maybe it just meant I was numb. There are things I saw that never left me. A kid in the back seat who looked just like my son. A woman screaming on a porch while I stood there trying to keep order. A partner bleeding while I pressed my hands against him and waited for help. You don't talk about those things at home. You tell yourself you're protecting your family by keeping it inside. What you're really doing is building a wall, brick by brick. My wife used to ask me how my day was. I'd say, fine, and change the subject. After a while, she stopped asking. I noticed. I didn't fix it. If you're doing this right now, listen carefully. The distance doesn't happen all at once. It creeps in quietly. You come home tired. You sit in your chair. You fall asleep with the TV on. Years pass like that. You wake up one day and realize you don't know how to talk without the uniform on. I remember one night clearly. My daughter was maybe 10. I promised I'd be there for her school play. I really meant it, but a call came in late. A mess. I stayed. I told myself she'd understand. When I got home, the house was dark. There was a program from the play on the kitchen table. She had circled her name in pen. I stood there longer than I want to admit. Then I folded it and put it in a drawer. I never brought it up. Neither did she. I thought I was different. I wasn't. Years later, she moved out. We were polite with each other. Loving, I guess, but not close. I blamed time. I blamed life. I didn't blame myself until much later. The job teaches you control. Control your voice. Control your face. Control the room. What it doesn't teach you is how to be open when there's nothing to control. No threat. No problem to solve. Just a person in front of you who wants you to show up as yourself. I didn't know how to do that. Retirement came faster than I expected. One day they threw a small party. Cake, handshakes, jokes about finally resting. I smiled. I even laughed. I went home with a box of things from my locker. A few photos, a plaque, the badge I carried for decades, now just metal in my hand. The next morning, I woke up early like always. 5 a.m. sharp. My body didn't know any other way. I sat on the edge of the bed waiting for the routine to kick in. It didn't. No uniform to put on, no radio, no place to go. That was the first time I felt it, the hollow feeling, like stepping into a room you've lived in your whole life and finding it empty. Days started blending together. I tried hobbies, gardening, fixing things around the house. Nothing stuck. People would ask me how retirement was treating me. I'd say good and mean nothing by it. What I really wanted was to feel needed again. One afternoon, I drove past the old station without thinking. Just turned the wheel and went, sat in the parking lot for a while. Watched younger officers come and go. They didn't know me. That hurt more than I expected. I was just another old man in a car. That's when it hit me. The badge wasn't just something I wore. It was the answer I gave myself every time I asked who I was. Without it, I didn't have an answer ready. The realization didn't come with drama. No big moment, just a quiet understanding that settled in and stayed. I had poured everything into one role and left very little behind when it ended. If you're listening to me right now, ask yourself something. Who are you when nobody needs you for anything? Not your job, not your title, just you. Sit with that question longer than is comfortable. My wife passed 3 years after I retired. Cancer. Fast. Too fast. I sat by her bed holding her hand, wishing I had held it more when it mattered. Wishing I had talked instead of staying quiet. There were things I wanted to say. Apologies. Gratitude. Love. Some of them came out. Some didn't. After she was gone, the house got even quieter. The chair across from mine stayed empty. I caught myself reaching for my badge once out of habit. My hand came back empty. The present day is slower. I move slower, think slower. But my mind is clear in ways it never was before. Maybe that's the cruel part. You finally understand what you traded away when you no longer have time to get it back. I still believe the work mattered. I don't regret serving. I regret letting it replace everything else. I regret thinking balance was something I could put off. I regret assuming the people I loved would always be there waiting. Later is not guaranteed. I learned that too late. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you because nobody told me. Or maybe they did, and I didn't listen. Either way, I'm telling you now. If this story stirred something in you, sit with it. Don't rush past it. If you feel like sharing, leave a comment about what you don't want to wait on anymore. And if you know someone who lives inside their work the way I did, pass this along quietly. If you want to hear more reflections like this, you can subscribe. I'll be here saying the things I wish I'd said sooner.